I believe that low bid equals high bid. Let me explain what I'm talking about. Traditionally, in construction projects, the approach is an architect draws, general contractor goes out and finds trade partners and allows them to bid on the drawings that have been created. Unfortunately, in this very solid approach, a lot of times that's defined as design, bid, build process, that system is broken in many ways. The architect, it's very difficult for them to draw within a vacuum without the input of those who are going to be building the facility that you are now designing. So, what ultimately happens is the trade partners, usually three of them that a general contractor selects, receives the drawings that come to them. They're probably not completely done at this moment in time. Now, the architect, and for you, the owner, is you need to understand you're paying for those drawings to be drawn to a certain point. So now it goes to the trade partners. They're now having the prints in front of them, and they're beginning to do what's called takeoffs. And they're sitting there and they're taking everything off, and they see a lot of times, majority of the time, because these guys are professional builders. They know what they're doing. They go, my goodness, there's things that are missing on these drawings. I can't go in this direction because there's a wall there or there's a plenum there, whatever the case may be. They see these things. But unfortunately, they're not able, because it's not set up to do this, so for them to raise the hand and go, hey, just so you all know, there's a lot of things that are missing in your drawings. So they never get built. They bid on what is actually there. And they're afraid that if they were to bring forward or actually put in a bid that is accurate, they would no longer be the low bid and they wouldn't be able to win that job. So what happens? The trade partner that has the low bid gets selected. The project is now taking place. All of a sudden, you get to that point where those things are missing. The trade partner comes to the superintendent. Superintendent works through his project manager within the general contractor firm, and they begin the documentation process. The clock starts. The trade partner is sitting on his hands that you're paying for, and he's not doing anything. Why? Because he has to document formally a process of sending information back all the way to the architect. Everybody touches that piece of paper and it works its way up. It's documented all along the way and eventually gets to the architect. Architect goes, yes, that information was missing. Now I have to redraw this part. Once again, we're paying for that. The owner is now paying for them to redraw or to add, which comes through the process of RFI, request for information. What's taking place here? How do we need to correct this? A lot of times, I just want to say, if you have a truly trust-based environment and you have a team, somebody picks up the phone, calls somebody, and the solution is identified in the field. But in our case, in the traditional approach, what happens, which is why 90% of construction projects are over budget, now all of a sudden the architect has redrawn it and it works its way back in. And now the trade partner that's been sitting on his hands that we've been paying for, all of a sudden begins to do the work. It comes in the form of a change order. This change order has just now added cost to the project because the scope has changed. This is a typical process that you find within a construction project. So when I say low bid equals high bid, that's what I mean. The best case scenario would be is that you have a trust-based environment. You get everybody in the room. You're working together to design the project. The builders, the trade people are able to speak into it. You're reviewing them along the way, and everybody is committed to making sure that errors and omissions are almost eliminated. Obviously, it's not possible to get there to the very end and eliminate every single potential item, but you can improve how much is removed from errors and omissions. That would be the difference between a project that is trust-based, team-oriented, versus the traditional approach, design, bid, build. Trade partners come in, they bid on the actual plans that are in front of them. They can't speak into the design, and all of a sudden the costs begin to come in on the backside. So what may seem like is a low, very attractive project price on the front end ends up being a very disheartening, discouraging, frustrating project price on the back end. Low bid may not be the solution.